Good day, see-through parents, and welcome to our conversation. I'm your host, Karien Pitout. Have you wondered how and why and when you need to talk to your children about race? This is our new series. Follow us, comment, take part in this conversation, and let's learn and grow together. So let's dive right into this first segment and first video. We are going to talk about why it is needed for us to talk about race with our children. We don't have a backdrop. We don't have dinner table conversations that talks about race in a positive way, talks about race in a way that we can actually use to step up and be allies. The Black Lives Matter movement highlighted the need for us to start having these conversations. I'm a white person. I was raised not really to talk about race. There was 3 topics we avoided like the plague in our homes. It was church, politics, and race. Because those conversations, and sex, but those conversations really made everybody in the room quite uncomfortable because it was a taboo. And I realize now, looking back, it's because they did not have the tools to talk to us about things like race, because their parents never spoke to them about race. You see, being a white person, we have the privilege of moving in this world without confrontation, without having to apologize or having to be scared to occupy the space we occupy in this world. We have freedom. We have that kind of freedom and almost an insult when someone kind of tells us, no, you can't go there. Then we immediately want to demand, but why not? For black, colored, Indian, all the other races in the world, life has not been that way. For them, these conversations usually start quite early in their lives. Discrimination and racism you actually see on the playground when kids are very small. And it's about how we handle those situations that has an impact on how our children will react in future. The first thing that we do is we model how we view race and how we engage with that, and how we model it creates a stereotype for our children to follow. Interesting thing, research had shown that at the age of 4 months, children already start categorizing, associating and stereotyping their world. It is part of a survival instinct. Sameness equals survival, and they will instinctively seek out ways and means to survive in society. At the age of 5, whatever negative stereotype is associated with your race, a child then internalizes and lives by those societal rules. Whether those societal stereotypes are true or not, that is how they encounter their world. That is why we need to talk to our children about race. That is why it is so important that we actually step up to the plate and help our children navigate this world where there's differences to be celebrated instead of differences to be fearful of and to be scorned. Something else that research has shown us is that children that are raised integrated and socially inclusive communities actually perform academically better, have a higher level of self-esteem, and fare much better on the social dynamics and in inclusion, which means for everybody, for the whole of society, it is important and pertinent and paramount that we actually have these conversations with our kids, that we educate our children about race. I hear you, but I was raised colorblind. Colorblind is problematic, but we'll get to that in another video. One of the other reasons we need to talk about race is, teaching our children about racial differences and celebrating those differences enable our children to actually be able to step up to the plate when they see discrimination happen, to actually interpret and understand discrimination, to be able to acknowledge when they have hurt someone, and to be able to take a step back and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I will be quiet and I will understand and listen to you. How often have you been surprised as an adult when you speak to someone and they explain to you their life experience, or how they experience school, or how they experience some other things, and you're quite surprised, like, oh, well, that wasn't really my experience. The reason being is we don't all live the same lives. We don't all live the same socioeconomic states. We don't even all live with the same ability to occupy space in society. And therefore, our sameness isn't the same. And trying to be colorblind or to be pretend that the differences don't exist set us all up to pretend as if every single person's life experience have been exactly the same, because it haven't. And having these conversations with our kids enable them to see it, engage with it in a positive way, and to step up and not be part of the problem, to be able to fight against discrimination, to be able to step up and actually help out and speak out for the student that needs it, to give platforms to lift voices of the oppressed, of people who need to be heard, to help shape a school and an environment and a society where every person belongs, not because they're same, but because these differences are being celebrated and being embraced. Another interesting thing that has been found in research is when we actually have these conversations with our kids, it creates in them an openness and a readiness to engage with differences and in different topics. It makes them open to engage with the world at large and actually less fearful, because the differences is not unknown anymore. We as humans suffer from that condition that we fear that which we don't know. So if I don't know it, I'm uncomfortable with it, so I try to avoid it. If we have these conversations with our kids, we are setting them up to have life experiences that is full and rich and very, very, very low amount of fear and limitations due to the things that they don't know about other people. Thank you for joining us. This is where we're going to end this segment of today. Watch out. Up here you will see the next videos all lined up for this conversation, specifically of talking about race. Down below, Parenting 101, some of the interesting things that we've discussed on our parenting journey together. Please subscribe, share this, and invite your friends to join the conversation. And go out and have a conversation with your kids. Have an absolutely beautiful day. Thank you.